Yo, you see that? Height, weight, ancestry, color. That's what they think. So they think they could just pick one of you out. Okay. Anywho, she's about to get a fade. Bruh. I swear to God, they think they just put a suit on and
during
you can
the
be
pandemic,
a man.
I started kind of TikToking, and I didn't realize
Who's the dad?
how much
Look here, who's the dad?
criticism that I
That's
would
what I'm saying.
receive because my daughter was
my
not
God.
fully African American.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's okay. It's okay. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up, my foot is on your neck. Take my word for it, it's a promise and a threat. I ain't never really wanna flex my gifts, but I think it's my
YouTube. What's up? Welcome to Simple Shit TV. I'm your host, Alvin Holden, also known as Project 8020. And look, I was perusing the internet, and I come across this this article. I wasn't quite sure what to think about it. You know, anytime this type of propaganda gets put out, you wonder where it came from, who's it directed at, so on and so forth. I mean, it's in the Washington Post business section. I don't know who Amber Ferguson is. I don't know if she writes a lot, but so I start making my way through this article. I started scrolling through here, and I see some things. America's black sperm donor shortage. Sperm donors by race. Cryobanks. And you know, to be honest, I never really knew that this was a thing, or at least enough of a thing to, I mean, there's clearly a business around it. These people are spending thousands of dollars. I know women are freezing their eggs and getting them inseminated, but I just, never really think about the other side of it. I'm going through this article. I think I'm tripping. I'm like, oh, well, Washington Post. I go on to YouTube here, and sure enough, the woman that they're writing about in the article, I believe, is also pictured and speaks here in the video. So I'm not that shocked by it, but there's some things in there that kind of almost even make me have a few more questions. Let's get into it.
My first pregnancy with my son Komet, I was roughly 25 or 26. I decided to conceive him. I had my heart set.
So she says she had her heart, I'm going to try to run that back. She said she had her heart set on being a mom. The idea of being a dad without the mother of my child just seems crazy to me. Doesn't make any sense. Maybe I heard that incorrectly. Let's go.
My first pregnancy with my son Komet, I was roughly 25 or 26. I decided to conceive him. I had my heart set on being a mom.
25 or 26, and she had her heart set on being a mom.
I was roughly 25 or 26. I decided to conceive him. I had my heart set on being a mom. So during that time, I would clock in at...
Honest question for YouTube. Do you really think about having kids without a father present?
4 p.m., not get home until 12:30, almost 1 a.m. sometimes. And I would start searching. I probably had about 3 or 4 sites pulled up on.
Yo, you see that? Height, weight, ancestry, color. That's what they think. So they think they could just pick one of you out. Okay.
probably had about 3 or 4
this is
sites
crazy.
pulled up on like my laptop, or I had something pulled up, maybe a Facebook, because Facebook is easy to access off my phone. When initially I started looking and I typed and I had like any race, so many options. There were like pages and pages of donors, and mostly a majority of them were, you know, Caucasian. And then when I limited my search to African
What?
and then
What? So they have baby
And when I-
pictures. Yo. So they send. So you have to send them baby pictures so they know what you look like as a baby, but they don't know what your name is. They get your blood type, ancestry, ethnic background, height. Jesus, I had no idea.
limited my my search
Yo, brown eyes, curly hair,
to African American.
Asian, Chinese, 5'10", brown, occupation, data scientist, programmer analyst, MS math and computational. Jesus Christ. Okay.
American, there was just one page of, you know, just a few on the page. It kind of.
All right. So let's see. Fairfax Cryobank, ethnic background, Black, Benin, African, Nigerian. So the dudes that are in here aren't even like ADOS black dudes.
Page of, you know, just a few on the page.
They're African, Benin, and Nigerian.
It kind of shocked me a little bit. Just a few on the page. It kind of shocked.
Business respiratory therapist. 6'3", 6 foot.
Shocked me a little bit, but I wasn't necessarily surprised. And I wasn't surprised because a lot of the families and a lot of the women that they use on the pages are Caucasian. I did try through IUI 3 times. Unfortunately, that pregnancy did end when I was 24 weeks pregnant. I went into preterm labor due to an infection that kind of spread through my body, and the only way to get rid of that infection was through delivery. So my son was born, and he was here for roughly.
Are all the complications worth it? Are all the complications worth it? No, it's just
2 days. And, you know, that was a really difficult process. But, you know, I decided to take some time and really heal first and then start my process again.
sperm from a black friend.
When I had to start again to initially find another donor for my daughter, and I showed my partner at the time, and yeah, that's when we decided to expand our search for maybe a donor outside of the African American race.
Brooks is not alone. The scarcity of black sperm donors pushes black women to choose donors of another race. According to that analyst by Washington Post, less than 2% of sperm donors in the United States are black. Why are there so many women having, this is crazy.
Grace is a fantastic mom. She's definitely one of the best moms that I know. She's incredibly patient and kind and caring, but also protective and vulnerable with Azora. I think that she makes sure that it's integral that Azora is constantly learning.
Anywho, she's about to get a fade. Bruh.
When I had her, I was like, I'm not going to shield her. Like, I want the world to see, me being a mom and, the beautiful child that I created. During the pandemic, I started kind of TikToking, and I didn't realize like
Hold on. While she's getting faded up.
When I had her, I was like, I'm not going to shield her. Like, I want the world to see, me being a mom and, the beautiful child that I created.
I swear to God, they think they just put a suit on and
during
you can
the pandemic,
be a man.
I started kind of TikToking, and I didn't realize
Who's the dad?
how much
Look here, who's the dad?
criticism that I would receive because my daughter was not fully African American. I received comments like, "Oh, of course she's mixed," or "Of course she's light-skinned," or outside of me being a masculine presenting woman and having a child, now I'm being criticized for my daughter being of another.
I mean, she's got
being mixed, basically.
Thinking about the comments that Reese gets online, I'm always disappointed. I think that a lot of it is just miseducation and a lot of lack of exposure to people who are different than others are.
Since I did conceive my daughter with a Peruvian donor, I did start trying to research and learn their culture a little bit more. I am not going to raise her strictly in an African American culture because that's not who she is. She's not 100% African American, and I want her to be able to know both her cultures, her African American side, her Peruvian side. Out of the money spent and the hours spent and the tears, and I would do it all over again. So my daughter is a blessing, and she's beautiful, and she's amazing, and I'm so happy. So out of the money spent and the hours spent and, the tears, and I would do it all over again.
That's what it is. There's the sales pitch right there. There's the sales pitch. We watched all of that.
The tears and
all of that for that part right there.
I would do it all over again.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
And, the tears, and I would do it all over again.
So that's the sales pitch. So that's what it is. So that's this this article. So it's a sales pitch essentially, right? Trying to sell the story, making it, it's propaganda, making it, this is something that's totally normal and okay, and you'll be fine, and so on and so forth. And it's totally normal, and you shouldn't be judged, and it's no big deal. It's totally okay. That is what this is for. So it's interesting that it's in the Washington Post. Not that surprised. Discount guarantees and search for good genes in the booming fertility business. There are more than, here's what I'll say. I'm going to do a completely different video on this because this is getting a little bit long. But Black women, if you hear me, you do understand that you were only brought here to breed in the breeding farms. Black people were never intended to be permanent in this country, and the only reason they brought over women was to breed after it got outlawed, slavery got outlawed. There is an analogy, or the Willie Lynch letters talks about breaking a horse. That's all I'll say. The Willie Lynch letters speak about breaking a male horse. And if you look that up, this will make sense. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. Ladies and gentlemen, Erykah Badu said it best, I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my shit. I'll holler at you guys in the next one. Oh yeah, hit me in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. I'm as I'm hearing this and looking at it, I can totally tell this is obviously just it's a sales job. Is it a good sales job? I don't know, but it's a sales job. So, they're trying to sell this culture as being, this part of the culture as being something that's normal and so on and so forth. Sure. But it's just interesting. Anyways, Erykah Badu said it best, I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my shit.